Hey, I'm Mark Gilfix. This is Michael Gilfix, my father. Between us, we have over 50 years of estate planning experience.
I think we make it 60.
60.
By the way.
Now, spoiler alert, most of that is on his side.
Hey.
We've worked with thousands, literally thousands of families on estate planning with financial backgrounds ranging from hardworking middle-class families all the way up to literal billionaires and everything in between. And we want to offer some insider estate planning tips, and some just tips about how to live a great financial and just great life, because I think we've learned so much. So we wanted to have kind of a discussion about a few different topics today, informal. And I think one thing I want to talk about is smart money versus dumb money. And we hear those terms thrown around. And we hear, the smart money has put their money on this team, or the smart money is making these types of investments. When it comes to estate planning and issues that affect every single family, how would you think about smart money versus dumb money?
The factor that drives me crazy the most is, let's call it the aversion to loss. It's called loss aversion. And I think folks just have a harder time writing a check to pay for legal fees than they do paying massive amounts of fees where they don't have to literally write a check. So,
that's an important thing. So I think smart money versus dumb money, I think one key way to look at this is, do you look at expenses the same way when you have to write a check versus when fees are just taken out? So we can compare, and we love many realtors and financial advisors, and we partner with some, but when you buy or sell a house, now the rules are changing a bit, but typically, traditionally, for like a $2 million purchase or $1 million purchase, you might be paying $25,000, $50,000 in commissions, but you don't have to write a check. So people haven't questioned it for years.
Yeah,
That's why
it comes out of escrow. It's an invisibility.
Exactly. And some financial services practices or mutual funds, they charge 1 or 2% fees per year, but you don't have to write a check. So I think people just put those out of their minds. They don't think about it. The smart money doesn't care if it's a check they have to write or if it's a commission taken, right? So I think, and so when it comes to that dumb money, we don't mean people are dumb. We just mean their approach to money is dumb. I think the dumb money doesn't really think about those commissions that they're paying or those fees. But when they have to write a check, oh my gosh, all of a sudden, no, I don't want to write this check. Even if it can save my family millions, I don't like writing a lawyer a $10,000, $50,000, whatever $1,000
Right, so I think the appropriate way to think about this is, it's this old-fashioned concept of return on investment.
Yeah.
We have countless examples where the investment made for a certain kind of legal planning literally returns a 1,000% or better,
or 5,000% rates of return.
I don't like to exaggerate. I don't like that figure because it sounds unrealistic, but it's real. So many contexts where that's real, and yet getting folks to kind of realize that, accept it, understand it, and pay us or other advisors who provide comparable services, there's just an aversion, there's hesitation. And it's a shame. People are losing a fortune by that.
Yeah, we all complain. I think here's another issue to smart money versus dumb money. We all see headlines about how, billionaires and ultra high net worth people avoid taxes. And people kind of resent that. But again, it's seen as like the smart money. I mean, the ultimate example are certain politicians who are very high profile, who take really sophisticated, smart steps to avoid taxes. Peter Thiel is a great example of that. A legendary venture capitalist who has he's maybe saved himself billions of dollars in taxes by being smart about taxes. And you can get upset about this, fine, or you can join it. You can be one of the people who take steps, and you don't have to be a billionaire or ultra high net worth multimillionaire to do this. So it's our mission, or at least I think it's our mission to help reframe the way we think about legal and tax planning. Whether you're middle class, upper class, whatever you consider yourself, reframe fees. If a smart, proven practitioner can show, I can save your family $100,000 a year in taxes, but it's maybe going to cost $40,000 to do or $50,000 to do it. The crazy thing is, on the legal side, on tax planning, we often can show benefits like that. And not only can we save, it depends on the planning and the situation, but whether it's property tax planning or estate tax planning, if you save $10,000 a year in taxes, that's actually the equivalent of earning more like $15,000 or $20,000, because most taxes you pay are not tax deductible, right? So if you pay $10,000, if you're taking steps to save your kids $10,000 per year in additional property taxes, which we can do, you're actually saving them more like $15,000 because they can't really deduct the local property taxes from their income. So you're really saving them like $15,000 to $18,000 per year. So it's even better than it often sounds, but what do you think the pushback is, or why do people sometimes have so much trouble signing up for planning when we can show this type of return on investment?
Sure, I actually want to look at that point from a slightly different perspective. We can save $10,000, $50,000, $100,000. So often what we're saving is the family home. Whether it's property tax or estate tax avoidance or just being smart about how it's organized. If we can put together a plan that will let you retain your residence or that rental property or the vacation home for the next generation, I mean, that is a payoff that may be hundreds of thousands of dollars. But frankly, I think the money saving is secondary. I think the idea of preserving the home, preserving the family legacy, I think that's even more important. And yeah, you have to spend some money on it.
Yeah.
It's just the way it is.
Yeah.
Maybe in an ideal world not, but it is.
Right. And just these are all numbers, we're throwing them out. We can't make guarantees. It all depends on your situation. This is illustrative. We can never make 100% guarantees, but tax planning is about as certain as you can get when it comes to returns.
Right. And this is about mindset. I think the main point we're making here is how should one think this through? Not that you should always spend X dollars, not that you should always get certain return, but how should you analyze it? What's right for you? What's right for your family?
Yeah, so I think just think like a billionaire. You don't have to be a billionaire, but we see billionaires save, they have tax shelters, they take all these steps to save millions, fair or not. You might think it's grossly unfair, many people do, but you can't argue with the fact that it's effective. The people that really take proactive steps to plan save billions in some cases, in the case of like Peter Thiel, or in the upper middle class or middle class.
Folks with relatively modest estates face similar issues. How many times have we seen a situation where somebody with a relatively modest estate, but they own a home, they'll get government benefits like Medi-Cal, and because they didn't plan to protect the house, when they pass away, the house has to be sold because there's what's called the Medi-Cal reimbursement that has to be paid back. $10, $20, $80, $100,000. With good planning, that's avoided. But folks who don't get that advice, they lose the family home.
In the upper middle class category, you can still save $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 a year from property tax planning. And if you're higher net worth and you're worried about estate taxes, if you have over $7 million net worth, you may have to worry about estate taxes soon. The return on investment can be amazing. So you need to reframe. Whether you're writing a check or paying a commission, getting great advice will pay for itself. A great financial advisor will more than pay for him or herself. A great estate planner will more than pay for themselves in their services. So let's reframe it. Think in terms of return on investment. Don't think in terms of cost. Please don't ever choose legal services based on the cheapest, right? Any thoughts on that? The dangers of choosing that.
So, I think when you choose a legal advisor, I think there's like three factors that should be considered. Okay, one is expertise. I mean, you have reason to believe that they know what they're doing. Okay. Second is cost. Cost is relevant. We're not saying cost is irrelevant. Yeah. It's a factor. The third one, and I think the most important one, is your ability to feel that you have a relationship with the attorney with whom you're meeting. Is it somebody you can trust, with whom you can communicate? Somebody who listens to you. Believe it or not, some attorneys are not great at listening.
What'd you say?
Attorneys do talk.
Yeah. So I want to add a fourth factor to hiring an attorney. You mentioned relationship, and that's hugely important. But can an attorney show the return on investment? Are they there just to make you feel good and say, look at how easy this process is, here, you're done? Or can they say, hey, look, by taking these additional steps, here are some concrete benefits that you can achieve for your family, whether that's protecting assets for multiple generations from estate taxes, protecting from property tax increases or estate taxes. So I think they should show that return on investment. But again, we need to reframe how we think about professional services. Again, the smart money does this. They look at return on investment. Do I have advisors I trust? Do they have experience? And can they deliver an incredible return on investment? If so, whether I'm writing a check or paying a commission, I don't care. The dumb money looks at, this guy is cheaper than this woman, so we're gonna go with the cheaper option. They're easier. They have good reviews because everyone says they're quick and cheap.
Have we not heard that many times?
Oh my gosh. So yeah, please don't be the dumb money. We see that time and time again. And we truly believe that 1, 2, 3 generations from now, like it or not, the smart money families, the families that invested in good next level estate planning now, there's going to be a wide gap between the families that took planning steps, even middle-class families that take those steps now, versus the families that don't. Don't mean you're dumb if you have the dumb money approach. It's just a mindset about investing in services and advice.
Yeah, I think we hit the nail on the head. It's a matter of adjusting to this loss aversion, which is a very human, very natural reaction. It is hard to write that check, to hand money over, as opposed to not ever having to lift a finger, even though you're paying for something. So it's a mindset thing, as you're saying. It's a mindset.
Change your mindset.
We have to adjust.
Seriously, though, I think everybody needs to be the smart money. Have that team in place for you and your family. I promise you, when you have a good team of advisors, it will pay for itself many, many times over and should give you peace of mind, which I think by itself is hugely valuable. Leave a comment if you have questions about this. If this offended you, let us know. If you have thoughts about this, leave a comment, subscribe, like, share this with someone in your family who may be the dumb money right now. It drives us crazy. Sometimes kids will say, hey, my parents need to do this type of planning, but they hate paying lawyers. It's like, well, not much we can really do about it. So don't be the dumb money. Hope you enjoyed this. Stay tuned for more.